I want to, as I mentioned earlier, these questions were developed within the chamber. They have not been shared with any of the candidates, but I probably is safe to assume that a lot of you knew that this question was coming. The city of Camarillo, it's a beautiful location. I think we all enjoy living here, working here if possible. We have amazing beauty in the views that surround us, the landscape that's around us. There has been discussion that the agencies, either on a city or county or state level, have mandated certain growth in housing. There's been criticism recently over the last few years about the traffic conditions through Camarillo, known as the Camarillo crawl. New organizations are stepping up and saying that the developments that are proposed in the Springville area, as well as the Conejo Creek or Camarillo Lakes area, should not be developed at this point, or maybe even in the future. What is your philosophy on how Camarillo should continue to grow, or whether it should not grow in terms of traffic, new development versus redevelopment, urban landfill, and infrastructure capacity? I know it's a loaded question, but Mr. Little, if I can start with you on the issue of development, growth, and traffic.
Thank you. Well, first of all, the mandated requirements of housing have been met in this city for over the period of time that this mandate's in effect. Through the Springville approvals of housing there, there's still some houses to be built in Village in the Park. So there's no need to prove any new projects for housing, because what's already in the pipeline takes care of whatever state mandates there are, which quite frankly shouldn't be the driving force anyway. But secondly, the timing of this is, as far as this particular project is concerned, is absolutely not realistic. To talk about a project with 2,500 homes and 1.4 million additional square feet of office and warehouse in these economic times, when no one is building anything, is totally out of sync with what should be done. My theory of building and developing in a city is to do it as you need to, and keep the options open for keeping the city as compact as possible. And I think one of the reasons we are looking at growth out there is because we allowed Camarillo Springs to jump out and be out there.
Thank you. Mr. Slangen.
As I stated in my opening statement, I'm the Vice Chairman of the Camarillo Citizens Advisory Committee. And I was appointed to this committee by the City Council. And what this committee does is that it provides recommendations and suggestions to the City Council on how we can better revitalize and better utilize older areas in Camarillo. And I don't feel that we need to build on every square inch of Camarillo. We can look at those older areas and, for example, have businesses on the bottom side with residential up on top, so that we have room for new businesses to come as well as for new residents, so we can still grow without having to build on every square inch of Camarillo. With regards to Camarillo Crawl, I also would like to focus on within the city limits. To get from one side of Camarillo to the other side, just on Las Posas or Ponderosa or whatever, it usually takes a long time. So I want to make sure that we have the capital projects and infrastructure to widen streets if need be, so that when the 101 is backed up and alternate routes are being taken, citizens can quickly get from one end to Camarillo to the other and not to waste time sitting behind the wheel in gridlock. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Valenzano.
Well, I think it's amazing how people's answers change. 2 nights ago, when we were posed with a question regarding the Camarillo crawl, most of the candidates up here were talking about having to put in signs that tell us how long it'll get from one side of the city to the other, or putting in meters that are going to meter how long it takes us to get on the freeway at the on-ramps. Now things have changed, and they're starting to talk about what I was talking about, and that's to stop building. Right now, we cannot support waste off our infrastructure to continue to keep building on the agricultural lands and expanding out into the outskirts of the city. As far as the EIR is concerned, there is, I believe, 9 level 1 unmitigatable problems with the current proposed Conejo Creek project. One of those is southbound on the Conejo grade. You can't expand it. There's nothing you can do about it. So how do you mitigate it? You can't. As far as taking care of the traffic, one of the ideas that I brought forward at that meeting also was expanding Pleasant Valley Road to a 4-lane road all the way from where it intersects Village at the Park to Las Posas, to open that up, to make it more safe for people to travel and to encourage people to take alternative routes that are going to take them off the freeway. The traffic itself is going to negatively impact our business. People don't want to come to a community where they have to sit in their car for 30 or 40 minutes to go 5 miles so that way they can go shopping. They're not going to want to visit our beautiful community if that happens. As far as redevelopment funds, I think the city should redevelop, but the problem is we lost funds at the state because cities like Camarillo were abusing their funds to try to actually use those funds to support development, new development in this city, and actually subsidize our developers.
Thank you. Mr. Sharma.
Thank you. First of all, I want to clarify this, because 2 nights ago when we were speaking about it, I did not mention about I did mention about that there needs to be a sign for the on the 101 so that it informs the people who are traveling on 101 that how long there is a traffic, how long they will get to the next intersection or to the next freeway. So I want to correct that. And then in addition to that, I think the Camarillo, as a Camarillo part of the Ventura County, as a Ventura County, we have one of the best agricultural land in the country, and we like that way because it produces one of the best crops and best fruits and vegetables. In addition to that, we have a lot of issues with the new development. We have currently, there is a state mandate which says we should have 2,400 houses per 5 year, 24 plus. Now we have Springville already there. We have a bridge there, goes to nowhere until there's a new construction is constructed. There's 1,350 houses will be built. There'll be another 400 houses built behind the Village at Park. So there is a lot of construction going on. I don't think so. The city needs additional housing need when there's not enough businesses where people will come to work. Typically, people will come and live in the city if there's business, if there's work available. There's not enough work available in Camarillo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Mr. Lorimer.
Well, we have a traffic problem, and part of that problem is 70% of the people are coming from the factory outlet mall, basically coming down from the Valley or Thousand Oaks or other areas. First thing you can do is promote rideshare, get with Caltrans. The second thing you could do, basically, you have a railroad track there. Why not get with them, see if they can run a line next to the factory outlet, so that way people are not driving down there. That's one possibility. Regarding building out here, you know, I've walked that area. I have pictures of it. We have 1 million square feet of empty buildings. I live near the Lamplighter Mobile Home Park next door to the Village of the Park, and there's property all over there. There's also garages, and nothing's ever been completed. There's plenty of stuff already. So, and you know another thing is too? I need to tell you guys this. My campaign, I'm not going to spend over $1,000. You know why? Because nobody is going to be in my pocket. You need to know that, okay? When I started this process, I was getting letters from everybody in the world going, well, we'll give you $1,000 and we'll give you $500. You know something? You get what you pay for. I don't have fancy brochures like everybody else, but you know something? I represent the people. Last night, the people, I think, made it very clear how they feel about this community and what they don't want. And you know something? You should respect that. And that's why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kildee.
Yes. We have in the early 80s, through an initiative process, we actually passed a growth control initiative that allows us to build 400 homes per year. Last year, we built 1. growth is totally predicated on economic conditions here. And I also might add that we do have a housing element up in the state of California that has been approved. And we're one of the few cities in the whole state of California that does have our housing element approved. As far as the traffic goes, we live in a society where people have cars and they drive a lot. We've done some mitigation measures as far as trying to mitigate the traffic problems around the outlet. We've expanded Las Posas up to the interchange. We've also expanded Ventura Boulevard up to Carmen to try to alleviate some of that. And we're going to completely help out that situation too with the Springville interchange as far as taking some of the traffic off of Las Posas there. And there's also hope when that Rose Avenue interchange gets completed that will help too. Traffic is a work in progress. You talk to any traffic engineer and they'll say it's an art and not always a science here. As far as all the other issues that we deal with here in the city of Camarillo, we'll continue to represent you and deal with them. Thank you.
Thank you.